There's something truly unique about the Odyssey. It's grand, it's beautiful, but more than anything, it's otherworldly. If you listen carefully, you can train your ears to pick up what makes this soundtrack unique, and then enjoy the movie even more on your next watch. I'm here just for that. There are essentially 3 things that sets this movie apart. And the first thing is probably the easiest one to pick up: the instruments.
Chris telling me that he wanted something completely unique for this film. No orchestra, no familiar sounds that you've heard before.
You might have seen the snippets already, but Ludwig Göransson imagined a whole new music world that was meant to be recognizable as ancient Greece. This world is one that we know very well, but feels ancient and strange. Ludwig did what Avatar wasn't brave enough to do. He partnered with musicians to find or create ancient instruments that we usually don't hear in soundtracks. One of the themes you will hear during this movie is Ithaca, which will come back when we see the island itself or the hunting scenes. To me, it feels like this theme is meant to ground us in the ancient Greek culture, and this one uses the instruments fully. Pay attention to the flute, that's an aulos. And this harp you're hearing, that's an ancient Greek lyre built from iconography. Beautiful. Nolan's movies are grand. They use rich soundtracks that are blasted at you in the IMAX theater. The Odyssey isn't different in that regards. Here though, it is harder to make the soundtrack epic with these old instruments. At best, when Odysseus meets the Cyclops, the music is ominous. So Ludwig and Nolan had to find a way to fill in these gaps, to create an epic sound without the orchestra. Enter sound design. When you go see the movie, in the first scene you hear Zeus's Law. If you were to listen to that song by itself, it isn't particularly intense, but the scene is. What creates that epic feeling is the sound design. During the movie, you will hear the waves crashing on the boats, the sound of the battle cries, the boots of the army on the ground. That is what fills in the gap, and that is what makes it epic. And when everything is at its peak, the music will stop, and you will hear instruments that do not belong in ancient Greece. The last piece of the puzzle to look out for is the instruments that come from this century. When things start to look up, when hope is finally there, Ludwig uses electronic music. Our ears are used to these instruments in EDM and pop music. We associate them with partying, with having fun, with hope. It's no coincidence Ludwig uses them here. The clash between Greek instruments and this sudden hopeful tone is incredible. I got shivers every time I watched it. I felt like I had to explain all of this because we don't usually take the time to understand what makes these soundtracks unique. With the use of these different instruments, by building up the intensity with sound design, and finally by bringing in electronic music, Ludwig created an amazing soundtrack. I hope you can pay attention to this on your next watch of the Odyssey. My experience was really improved by knowing the attention to details to each songs. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. I make these to demystify the craft of music, for you to really understand the genius behind the notes. I'm Penguin Astronaut, this is Moka, and he approves this message. Don't you, little baby? Don't you, little baby? Okay, wait.